Hey guys, welcome back to Manny's Game Room. Today we're not in the game room. I've done a little bit of a clean out and I just thought it might be cool to show you my old NBA cards that I collected in the 90s. So I'll take you through the whole folder slowly, but just to give you an idea, 90s NBA was, for me, it was peak. It had the best teams, the best players, the play style was the most entertaining. You had Jordan, Shaq, Penny Hardaway, Shawn Kemp, David Robinson. Just keeps going on and on and on. And it was just the most amazing time to watch basketball. My favorite player is Penny Hardaway, and he won't feature in this because I've actually got a framed signed jersey of his, mine the white, sorry, and all the cards that were Penny Hardaway's I put in the frame. So that's why he's not going to be there, because he's in that frame. But a lot of my friends used to collect sets and go for whole sets of one, that had different brands, Upper Deck, Fleer, Tops, all those. But basically what I used to try to do was just collect cards of players that I thought were cool, and also special cards that looked cool. I've got commons in there as well. This is actually my brother and I's collection. He was a big David Robinson fan. I liked a few players, Penny, Shaq, Patrick Ewing, we loved them all. But anyway, here's these first pages, what I used to really love seeing the most. These are called our Holograms. I've got some team MVPs. They're just thrown in for good measure. I don't know why myself, as a teenager in the 90s, would have thrown them in there, but I did. It's got Shaq on there anyway. So these Holograms are really cool. I'll try and show you in the light. So for instance, like this Karl Malone, if you're able to tip it just right in the light, can you see how there's like a background? He's in the background there. His color. And if you tipped it just right, the trick was trying to get the hologram to come out in its correct color. But just so cool. Holograms were my favorite back in the day. Oops. And anyways, almost fell over. Anyway, so those were the holograms. So I had Charles Barkley, Robinson, Drexler. That Isaiah Thomas one was pretty cool as a team MVP. Harold Miner is a slam dunk champ. Gugliotta. Sometimes we just go to card shops and you just buy a random single. So someone like Gugliotta wasn't someone I would have gone after, but I just thought, hey, a hologram. That Wilkins one is really good. It's probably hard to see, but you can sort of see him dunking there in that hologram. Brad Doherty. These were cool. These ones here, these comic ones. What are they called again? I'm not sure. And then there's a Jordan versus Birdman. That was cool. Reggie Mueller. So as you can see, all the players are just so iconic, and the cards, just the effort they used to put into designing the cards was really, really cool. So scoring champ ones. That's when the Raptors first came into the league, so everyone was pretty pumped about that. I love that Raptors logo. Like I say, David Robinson. Seeing signatures on there was pretty cool. There's that Michael Jordan retirement card. I remember when I pulled that Patrick Ewing one, I was like, oh, I've got to look this up in the Sports Beckett, and it was like $10, which was a win back then, because trying to collect these cards was pretty hard in Australia because the packs were quite expensive. You probably would only get a couple here and there every few months, or maybe a few on your birthday, stuff like that. I love this set. This set is one I really went out for. So when I was at school, I used to trade my mates for these because I wanted to get all of these, because these are called NBA signature moves. So Michael Jordan was hang time, gliding layup, killer crossover for Tim Hardaway. So that's the set of those there. Kenny Anderson. So yeah, that's the set like a mini set within the set that I wanted to collect. So that's what I took out. There's so many cool players there. These cards, I'm just so glad I looked at them today, because I show them to my boys sometimes, and when I look through them, it just takes me back. You can still remember the day you traded for a certain card or opened a certain card. These are so cool. So these were called 3D cards. I don't know why I didn't buy more of them when I was younger. Maybe because they were a gimmick. So what happened is they came with these 3D glasses here. Every pack had one of these pairs, and then you'd put them on, and then when you put them on, they probably too hard to see, but it would make the card pop in 3D, which was super cool. I only bought one pack of those anyway. These were cool. Season leaders for scoring or assists or blocks or steals, whatever. I just like the background on there. And then on the back is really cool because all the info there, they give you like the statistics there of what happened in that year and info. I just think it's a dying art. The cards just don't seem to look as cool these days as these. These were all right. These like rebounder frontmen sort of cards. I did like Karl Malone a lot when I was younger, so he pops up a bit. Orlando Magic was my team, but I also liked the Utah Jazz. And it's just a shame that all the teams I followed were pretty strong then. And so now, that's a cool card. Now teams like Orlando and Utah really struggle, whereas they were so competitive and exciting to watch in the 90s. These are cool, Skylines, because it's got the city where they play in the background. So you said there's the Seattle Tower, there's Chicago, etc. It's a shame I didn't get a New York one, but Boston one's pretty cool too. These, I remember there's like a little card shop up the road from my school, and I'd just walk up there and then spend some leftover bus money on just buying these. I think like that Scott Skiles one was 30 cents, but I just liked it's got the jersey, it's got that iconic logo, and he's shooting the ball, the Orlando Magic ball. Some Team USA. I think this is Dream Team 2 or 3. It's either one that went to the World Championships or the Olympics. This is where we start seeing common cards. So, when you'd open a pack of Upper Deck, you'd just pull like 5 or 6 cards out, and then you might get a special if you were lucky. See, that Pippen one's really cool, dunking over Oliver Miller. The Suns were a great team. I know it's only common, but I always liked that Ewing card just for the fact that it was like, I don't know, it just looks cool because it's a close-up shot. And there's when Horace Grant went to the Magic, Wilkins changing over. These were all big deals at the time, this sort of stuff. So you can see, I never really went for, I'm going to get all the Fleers and I'm going to get all the Upper Decks, and I'm glad I didn't, because this is sort of like a snapshot of who my brother and I used to like and follow. There's a few David Robinson cards in there. Olajuwon pops up a lot. I didn't go after Olajuwons, but yeah, he popped up a lot there. Oh, so good. I like these Hoops cards because I liked how the logo was prominent. And there's a rare one of Reggie Miller dunking on someone. Yeah, so different cards in different years had different styles. These are cool, these signed ones. Jeez, I got a lot of Scott Skiles. Some more NBA All-Star ones. And we used to back-to-back our cards because it was hard to get these folders and slips. Oh, look, there's a Penny Hardaway. That's when he won MVP of the Rookie All-Star game. So I didn't put that in my folder, but I'm into my Penny frame because it just didn't seem to suit the rest of them. And he wasn't in his Orlando kit. There we go. There's a Olajuwon again. Dan Marley, Thunder Dan. And there's Mark Price. Underrated Mark Price. And then David Robinson. Like, as you can see, there's my brother's influence coming through. He always used to try and trade for David Robinson cards. So yeah, this was pretty much like Latrell Sprewell's a great player. It's such a shame what happened to him. So this was peak 90s for me. So, it wasn't about 3-point shooting. It was about, driving the lane, and each team seemed to have their own identity. Now it seems like all the teams just play the same. Oh, I love these ones, these playoff highlight ones. It tells you it tells you little moments that happen in the playoffs, like when the Hornets won their first ever series. I remember that. When Dan Marley hit 8 threes in a finals game. That one's super cool with John Paxson. I like how I've got that card there, and then the other way around. So they're awesome, those ones. Here's just some more commons. Yeah, as I was saying, it just seems like every team plays the same now. And back then, just watching every team had a different style, and it was just the best time to watch was in the mid-90s of NBA. And even now, I just can't connect with many of the stars. Like this era was just so star-studded, and even the players who were like secondary players on the team were awesome to watch. Geez, I got a lot of cards. You can see down here. There. That's a cool card, that David Robinson one. And Sean Kemp. Bobby Hurley. I think this is where I started to get into. I think we used to chuck our rookies in the back as well when we had rookie cards. Robert Pack, he could dunk too. He was only short, but he could dunk. These are just some team list cards. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hornets in space. And then more team lists. So yeah, Orlando, Golden State, Seattle, Miami. They were great teams. Here's my rookie cards. Some of these rookies worked out, some didn't. So like Sean Bradley, obviously. There's a Shaq rookie card. It's a 92 draft pick one. You'd think that would have been worth something, but not really. None of these cards really sort of became like, you know, anything more than a couple of dollars each. But that's all right. We didn't collect for worth at the time. We were more just collecting for fun, just to see which cards you got and how cool you could make. It was all about aesthetics. It was about how cool you can make your folder look. So yeah, so I've got a lot of sports memorabilia too. So as you've noticed, I've got my game room downstairs, but then upstairs here is where where I have some memorabilia and stuff like that. I've got some signed jerseys here, like Patrick Mahomes and Adrian Peterson. I've got a Giannis one, Cam Newton one. These pink ones are kind of cool. And then there's that. And then that's pretty much it. The rest is just rookies. And then these Kellogg's ones, I think they just came in like a special kit. It's like NBA players, but when they're in their college teams, which is kind of cool history-wise. So they weren't worth much at the time, but I just thought they were pretty cool to get. Anyway, that's pretty much all the cards I had. That's what it looked like collecting 90s NBA cards. So maybe you saw one you liked. If there's another one you want to see a bit closer up, let me know. Let me know in the comments if you used to collect too, or if you have any cards that you used to go after. Cool. See you next time.